Relax and Release. I was at Your I Can Do It at Sea workshop series in 2011. My profound healing came during the group workshop. Although I am a highly successful physician in my early 40s, I've been obsessed with the idea of getting married my entire life. It wasn't the normal, someday I'd like to, feeling that many people have. I used to feel like I'd die if I didn't get married. As you can imagine, that intensity pushed away long-term boyfriends and sometimes scared off dates. In the group regression, I found myself in about 1 CE. In present-day Afghanistan or Pakistan, wrapped in a blue canvas blanket. When you instructed us to become aware of our feet, I suddenly realized that I couldn't feel mine. They were bones, and I was paralyzed from the waist down. I was an outcast from my tribe, which had abandoned me to beg on the street. I hurt so much. I died out in the cold, completely alone. As I floated out of my body, I began to scream at the Jesus figure that accompanied me in the garden. That's not fair. No one should have to live like that, I cried. He told me to relax and gave me messages about that life. He also told me that I was not going to die alone again and that I should heal from that fear, because it was in the past. I came out of the hypnosis and have never felt the same. The anxiety and fear are gone. I'm dating now, and I'm comfortable no matter what happens. My best friend, who accompanied me on the cruise, reminded me that when I was depressed I used to say, if I don't find a man, I'm going to die alone on the side of the street. How funny that I was unconsciously referring to a past life. There's no way in this life that I would die alone, I have family all around me. But I had always been carrying that grief with me. I've never felt better. I truly believe, just like anyone with a phobia of water or of having their neck touched from a past life pain, that I was healed. Brooke, it is as if we are all born with a form of post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD), but the stress comes from a past life. A person who suffers from traditional PTSD will become anxious when something triggers a painful or disturbing memory. He or she re-experiences the trauma even though it is no longer present, a thing of the past. For example, the sound of a car backfiring might immediately and viscerally bring to mind scenes of gunfire to a soldier who has just returned home from war. Although he is now safe and hundreds of miles away from the trenches, in his mind he is instantly transported back to the battlefield, fighting for his survival. Are we not all carrying around our own phobias, traumas, fears, and baggage, as well as affections, interests, and relationships from lifetimes past? We remember these triggers on a soul level and in our subconscious minds, and even though they are not present in our current lives, we respond and react to them as if they were. Perhaps past life traumatic stress disorder is a very real and very common condition. The good news is that it is treatable. It requires no medication and can be cured in as little as 1 dose of regression therapy. In just a day, Brooke's millennia-old phobia about living and dying alone vanished. Freed from the tyranny of her obsession and her fear, her life immediately improved. How loved Brooke is to be given the opportunity to meet the Jesus figure and have him explain what she needed to know. We are all protected at the highest levels. Our universe is benign and infinitely caring. We will find paradise on earth when we remember our true nature and align our hearts and minds with this unconditional love. Brooke's story reminds me that if I am reaching out with kindness, compassion, and the expertise of experience, then I should not be attached to any outcome. If I help 1 person, or 10 million, it does not matter. The results are out of my control and are not as important as the loving intention and action. This is true for every one of us, for all our actions. Even if nobody else in Brooke's group had an experience, a healing, or a transformational understanding, the workshop would still have been an amazing success. Brooke was healed, how marvelous is that? Each one of us is precious. Terry, the author of the next story, experienced a reverse kind of past life traumatic stress disorder, in that her previous life was actually devoid of stress or worry. Recalling and recovering the joy she felt in an earlier lifetime helped bring more happiness and contentment to her present one. Soulmate, this is a part of Zindagi Ki Roshni consultancy. It has been established for those who have lost someone and for those who are very sad in their life. About 100 PDF books and 20 short audio books of this topic will be sent to those who join it. This data will be sent to their email or WhatsApp. If you want to join this organization, then please send WhatsApp message to this number.